Hey there, and welcome to one of my videos on AZ140, the course which is about Azure Virtual Desktop. What I'm doing here is I will be running all the labs that we have in this course, just as a reference on what it should look like if you would be in this course running all those labs. Or if you are in a course like this running the labs and there is buttons that you cannot find or things that won't work as expected, I may be able to explain a little bit to keep you going and finish the course in its entirety. In this very first lab, we are going to configure the Azure Pass. So what you want to do is you want to be running the lab using the Entra ID version, which means the Active Directory Domain Services version. The AZ104 course has two options. Option one is Active Directory Domain Service, and option two is Azure Active Directory Domain Service, or AADDS, which is limited. So in this course, in my take, we are going to take the longer version of the labs, which is the ADDS. Now, the first lab is the lab where you are going to redeem the Azure Pass. And what you need to do is this Azure Pass will give you a 30-day access to an Azure environment where you can then start working on building virtual machines. And in our case, in this exercise, we're going to, in the end, in other labs, we're going to create an Azure Virtual Desktop environment. And for that, we need that Azure Pass, 30-day access, $100 spending limit that you can use to play around with Azure Virtual Desktop. So here I am in my lab environment. Pretty much always you want to be reading the scenario first. And well, one of the first steps is that we need to sign in into the virtual machine, which I've already done here. And then it wants me to open up a browser, and I want to go and create. I want to go to outlook.com here, and we can just make sure to use the right buttons here on the left hand side to navigate more quickly between the different websites. And here I want to be creating a new free account. And this is super important for this exercise and for this series of labs. You really want to be sure that you create an Outlook account dedicated to this training. This is going to be an account that you can forget about once the training is done. You will never be able to add another Azure Pass to this account. It's a one-on-one relationship only. So what I do here to make things easy for me, I am recording this in in December 2023. So I'm going to do a 2312 and then something that that explains who I am. So my initials maybe, and then something with well, maybe this should be enough. Let's see if this is allowed. And as we see, it's not really allowed with outlook.com. So I'm gonna go and do it like this. Just reverse it. ADA 2312 at outlook.com. Let's see if this is allowed. Well, apparently I am not the first one using this. So I'm gonna add the -AZ140 behind this. That's all right. So this is what I wanted. Obviously, you want to make up a password that that nobody else is going to guess. So I'm gonna go and enter my credentials here. I am based in the Netherlands. I am going to do some random dates in here. So let's say this is what I want to be entering. And then if everything is all right, I would need to go in and also verify everything by a phone number. This is important. You have to use an actual phone number. So in my case, I am going to do that. And then I should be getting an access code via text soon. Here we are. So let me just enter the code here and then move forward. Now, again, the purpose of this exercise is that we're going to create an Azure Pass environment, which allows me access to create stuff in Azure Resource Manager. So here we are. This is my newly created email environment. So in the virtual machine, we need to open up a new tab here. Then navigate to microsoftazurepass.com. And now we can be moving forward. So I'm going to click start here. And then if prompted, I want to, well, I don't need to sign in again because it's already the account that I used. So I'm going to go and I'm going to say, I'm going to confirm the Microsoft account. Here, I need to enter the promo code that I use for this course. Now, the promo code is the actual Azure Pass. And this is something that I already have put on my clipboard. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and paste the Azure Pass in here. And I'm going to go and try to solve that puzzle, which I typically suck at. So let's just see if this works. Well, apparently it seems to work. At this point, what we can do is we can, at this point, we have entered the promo code. We click claim and it says, hey, I'm gonna receive a message saying it's processing my request. So this may take up to 5 minutes, but here we are. It doesn't take too long, as you can see, but here we do need to enter some information, and also this information has to be the correct info. So it's important that you set this up right. Now you can skip the company VAT ID, and we don't need to enter that. But what you will notice is that it's not easy to just skip these things. So if I want to just go in and say, hey, just agree to this and click sign up, I will probably get a message that says, hey, you need to enter your phone number here. So I'm going to choose, and that would be my 65100. Do not enter the country code in your phone number. That is not necessary. I'm going to leave the rest of this. If I click sign up now, you can see that still the address has to be a valid address. So I'm going to go and say, I'm going to go to the Dam in Amsterdam. And this is going to be in, not Flevoland, but I have to figure something out here. So I'm going to say North Holland. And let's say I'm going to go for 1000 AB like this and see if this is being accepted. Now you can see the little dots flashing from left to right. So apparently I have done something right here. And the result will be that this will take me to the next page where it's going to confirm my information. I don't need to do anything yet here. So I'm just gonna go and say, okay, I'm gonna check out the setting up the account here. And this is going to take a little while. Now, very important is to write down somewhere the credentials you have used to access the this account. So the email account here that I have used myself, and the account that and the password that I have used here. So let me just go and get this out of the way, because I want to make sure that I am going to write this information down for future use. If you lose access, your training company is only able to to give you an Azure pass once. So if you mess up access, you are screwed. So that is something that you really want to be careful with. Just make sure that you have, just make sure that you write down those credentials to get started with. Once this is done, well, you do have access to the Azure environment. So here we can see that we are now being forwarded into portal.azure.com. And with that, we now can check. For example, one of the things that we want to check maybe is the subscriptions view here. And you can see that you should now have something called Azure Pass sponsorship. And this is the, and now we have a subscription that we can use for, well, starting our lab environment. This is one thing that we can do. Another thing you can check is there is a URL, Microsoft Azure Pass sponsorship. If you search for the link behind that, let me just see if I can find it here, which is the Microsoft Azure Sponsorships.com. If you go to Microsoft Azure Sponsorships.com, then we have an option to check your balance. And this will allow you to check how much credit you have. So as you can see, in my case, the Azure Pass that I have is worth $50 US. That's fine. You know, with this amount of credits, you can easily run all the labs in. You can easily run all the labs with within this az140 course. One thing that I really want to tell you before I'm going to end this first video, that is that whenever you finish a lab, so whenever you've been working on a lab and you're done for the day, please make sure to shut down all the virtual machines that you have created, because that will actually cost money. And you want to be very careful with your money in the Azure Pass. So don't go play around making foolishly big virtual machines. Just follow the labs to the letter, which is, I think, the best thing. And once you are not working on the labs, make sure to shut down all the virtual machines, because, well, you don't really want to be paying for stuff that you're not using when not working on those labs anyway. So with that, I want to end this first exercise. This is how to create your Azure environment based on the Azure Pass. The next lab is the one that is called Prepare Your Deployment for Azure Virtual Desktop, ADDS, or Microsoft Entra. This is where we are going to, well, prepare the environment a little bit to be able to do the other labs at a later stage. So thank you for watching this one. Hopefully you have found this video useful. Well, and let's move forward to the next video on Azure Virtual Desktop Labs.